It's hard to overstate how much Tamagotchi attached itself to people. Boot it up, set the time, watch an egg hatch, and you've just brought a baby into the world. Now they're a college graduate in the middle of a never-ending existential crisis. Where they ended up, though, was entirely up to you, how you fed them. If you played catch the right or left way, did you yell at them for stealing nuclear codes? Have you injected them with the vaccine? Pretty ahead of their time here. And because their lifespan was so quick, they'd beat for attention constantly, asking for sustenance or happiness or both if you were that bad. So naturally, kids brought them to school, employees took bathroom breaks at work, and some ding-a-ling got into a car accident caring for him because I made the purchase, I'm a mom, and I have to live with it. Or they didn't know you could pause it by going to the clock menu. But at that point, you're putting your kid in purgatory, so you kind of have to weigh the morality of it. The point is, it made people care for a virtual thing. It didn't matter that it looked like Rouge's tennis for the Sega Happy Meal. It was your kid that you let die, and 5 million people could not live that down. Tamagotchi was such a hit that the toy industry itself changed around it, to the point where plush dolls started improving their AI to compete. The Microsoft Barney had a 2,000-word vocabulary plus CD-ROM that played games with you. Winnie the Pooh wiggled his nose about and said his classic catchphrase, "Hello, friend." Well, every time you violently caved his chest in, he went into cardiac arrest. Furby? I mean, he does that on his own sometimes. Like Tamagotchi, you have to feed it. Human flesh, Hedwig, Nazis, Gloria Estefan, Enya, Michael Jackson. You can also play games with it by entering some pseudo sign language combos. Cover, uncover, pet. You can ask it a question. Clap 4 times and it'll start bopping. Clap again, throw on some Arlar, and it'll bop to Amazon. It doesn't work with all songs, though. I tried. It starts off speaking Furbish, you know, the one with the kudos, waylos, and the memes. But the more you play with it, the more it learns English. I only have one, but supposedly if you had 2 Furbies or more in the same room, they could pass disease to each other. This was advertised as a feature in the commercial. Tiger President Roger Schiffman bought the idea in November 1997 and put Vice President Jeff Jones in charge of the Furby team. According to him in his gratuitous LinkedIn response, the normal development cycle would have been around 18 to 24 months, putting Furby on track to release Christmas 1999 or 2000. You see, they had to get it done by August 1998. Okay, that meant they had to finish a prototype for the New York Toy Fair in 3 months. A week before then, they barely got it to the required 5% sentience in their showroom after saying, "Fuck it," and wiring into an outside control box. Then one day it stopped working. Normally problematic, but in this case very much more, because that day, Alan Hassenfeld came to the Tiger building. He was the CEO of Hasbro. They fumbled about the wires and shit, adjusting the lighting, thinking of anything they could do, and the CEO guy was at the table and they had no choice but to turn it on, so they did. And they worked on cue, and he called it one of the coolest things he'd ever seen in the industry. Walmart bought 1/3 of the production. Hasbro bought Tiger for $335 million. And provided more employees and design software. But we can't build a new prototype in time for E3. We gotta push it back from August to October. The infrared passing disease feature still needs work. Do we make the lore alien or Care Bear? Do we need a model shot? We need 4 factories. It's done. Schiffman stated that if they sold 250,000 units in the first year, the toy would be a hit. Their problem was that they sold 1.8 million. In 3 months. You had leopard, snowball, wolf, witch's cat, church mouse, and skunk, but that's only generation 1 of 8. Y2K Furby, Trump 2000, student loans, Yoda.
I am wondering, why aren't you here? Oh God, I'm still here!
Shelby's that are clam Furbies that can say Figaro. McDonald's, talking backpacks, talking slippers, denim overalls, and onesies because you love your kids. 14 million units in 1999. 40 million units by 2001. And then it died. I think it's pretty obvious why they died, but there were other factors. For one, you couldn't shut Furby off without taking out the batteries, so you better take a screwdriver with you at all times, just in case they pull some dang shit. Also, it was pre-programmed to only say a certain number of things in English or 23 other languages, so if you threw on
filthy, foul, bawdy, naughty, saucy, cussing, swearing, and all I could think of,
it won't reciprocate. Although that didn't stop the NSA from classifying it as a threat to national security. Yeah, I can definitely see that. Plus, Virtual Pets as a fad was as oversaturated as Furby was. Poochie, Meowchi, the prototype of the PS3 baby, Digimon, Disney Pet, Neopets, Pokemon, literally dropping Pikachus from the sky, and video games. Like, holy shit, like everything that should stay dead. In 2005, they returned in the direct-to-DVD cult classic, Furby Island. What made them different was the pre-programmed responses to specific voice commands. All you had to do was say, "Hey, Furby," and it'll respond. And you can ask it to do stuff like, "Give me your opinion on the government's response to Hurricane Katrina." They could also communicate with other models, but only 2005 ones if you didn't think their purpose of being made was obvious enough. Plus, they could only communicate with other Furbies when you sent them into cardiac arrest, so that's pretty shitty. They only made 23 different colors and died in 2 years. But in 2012, dude, they saw Angry Birds, Temple Run, Clash of Clans, Candy Crush, and were like, come on. This time, Furby had split personality disorder. In 2013, to support it, Furby Party rockers were released, and I have to say I firmly believe that to be a very real thing that was released. The 2013 Furby Boom utilized the smartphone with an exclusive app it could lay eggs in. You know, if you want Furby eggs in your phone. Hasbro hasn't updated the app in almost 5 years though, so iOS 11 and above, you're kind of out of luck. But if you're really intent on collecting all the baby Furbies in 2021, Furby Connect's the way to go. Hasbro stopped updating the app in 2019, but don't worry, you can still download it without a model and watch an ad immediately that says you should buy it. Wow, put Furby over the toilet. I wonder what's in store. Okay. Though the 2016 Connect is the last of the official releases, and it's really been out of the cultural zeitgeist outside of since 1999. Ladies and gentlemen, here's how to skin it alive. Play this Newgrounds shooting game and fucking burn it alive and title the video Furby Protesting for His People? Cut it open as a kid-friendly father-son activity. Kill it with a gun that fires 900 rounds per minute. And then blow it up with C4. Try it for war crimes in 1600. Smash it with a hydraulic press, put it in the microwave, and make it... Create a 4-part horror film where a guy kills Furby, but then it comes back since Furby is Satan, obviously, and kills the guy who tortured him and then kills his brother who dies but doesn't because of the future storyline, obviously. Or Furbies control America and he sends another Furby back in time to Kyle Reese it so that Furby gives birth to twins and... Spoilers! He ends up killing the twins anyway. That's why it gets 5 poochies out of 5.
You crack me up, little buddy.